You're the first person who's come out, so we're not ready to make a decision. We want to get 3 estimates first. Have you heard this one? Brock had suggested this video. Brock, thank you so much, because you're not the only one who's had this happen. This is an incredibly common objection, especially when it comes to retail roofing sales. When you show up at the house and you're the first person on site, because we all know speed to lead's important, but when you're the first one there, sometimes the one call close can be much harder because the homeowner needs to make decisions after seeing the estimates, which is what they're thinking. Might not be what they need, but it's what they're thinking. And remember, one of the most powerful skills in sales is to learn to think like our customers, which is putting ourselves in their shoes and getting out of our own way. Because my guess is you'd want to do the same thing, right? What do homeowners want at this point? They want to get other estimates. Why? I want you to think about it. Now forget trying to think like them. Think like you. Imagine you're getting 3 estimates to replace the concrete in your driveway. You want 3 estimates for what reason? To make sure the companies are reliable, they show up on time, to make sure the estimates are apples to apples, and most importantly, to make sure you're getting a fair price. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you a few different techniques to help you close these deals, even if you are the first one in the house. And I'm also going to teach you how to make sure this doesn't come up at the end of the appointment, because for some reason, this is when it usually does. You go out, you do your deal, you go through your presentation, you nail it, and they say, thanks for coming out. You're the first person out here. We want to get 3 estimates. We'll call you back. Sound familiar? Well, let's learn how to tackle this one. Hey, my name is Adam Bensman. Just want to say welcome or welcome back. My brand here, The Roof Strategist, and everything we do is to help you and your team smash your income goal and give every customer an amazing experience. And if you want even more videos like this, hop into our brand new free training center. It's available at theroofstrategist.com, or you can click in the video or podcast description or text the word free to 303-222-7133. Now let's get to it. Number 1, this objection should not come up at the end of an appointment ever. Do you hear me? It shouldn't come up. Why? In my program, the car park closing formula that I teach, we want to discover, or the second A is assess. So connect, and then A is assess. Assess where that customer's at in the process, so we can then custom tailor our presentation to suit the customer's needs. So let me ask you, are you going to present to a customer, if you're the first one, the exact same way as if you're the last one out in the house? My guess is you're nodding your head saying, no, of course I wouldn't. We would need to present differently. So my question to you is, well, why don't you just ask? One of the questions I ask first thing in the house is, hey, how many estimates have you received so far? This gives me the information that I need if I'm going to sell as first one in the home or last one in the home. So the quickest, easiest fix is air this out early. That's number 1. Number 2, what we want to do when a customer says, hey, you're the first one coming out, we want to wait to get a few more estimates, is a few things. This one is going to be a little complex, but hang with me because it is wildly powerful. Groundwork first. There are 3 dominoes we must knock down in order to win the sale. And if you've been tuning in, same with me. Trust, need, and money. Develop unshakable trust, create the need, overcome the money issue. The trust thing is the big one. So what we want to explain to homeowners, especially on the retail side, is that not all estimates are apples to apples. Homeowners are doing exactly what you and I would do. You get an estimate, you scroll down, look at the number, there's your estimate. You don't care what they wrote or anything. They're looking dollar for dollar. But you and I both know that the most common way that roofers dupe homeowners is by providing that blanket remove, replace roof X dollars, which means it's up to the roofer to make an on-the-fly decision to reuse or replace roof-to-wall flashing, step flashing. Are they painting pipe jacks or not? Are they even reusing drip edge, which we've seen done? All of these details are up to the contractor on the fly, and it's kind of the only way they can make money when they're undercutting everybody, because there's just not enough meat on the bone to do that and actually survive in business. So what we want to do is explain this process to homeowners and then ask questions to them. Hey, when you meet with other contractors, I don't want you to bring this up. This is for you to gauge their level of authenticity, trust, and transparency. Did they tell you what grade of shingle they're using, what grade of ridge cap they're using, how they're installing their valleys, whether it's W metal or ice and water shield, how many rows of ice and water shield they're putting on the home to make sure they're compliant with building code, depending on the Porch overhangs or longer overhangs may require multiple rows. What type of pipe jacks are they using? Are they reusing or replacing the roof to wall or step to wall flashing? Do they give you a color for drip edge choice? When you begin letting them know all these details and saying if they're not providing this information to you, there's a high likelihood that they are trying to dupe you, which is what roofers do. So if you're first in the home and you go through that highly detailed estimate, and if you're not doing that yet, that is your key takeaway from this episode, is for you to put together a highly detailed estimate. All right. Now, when you do that and you let them know to look for these things, when you kind of plant the seed and develop trust, and now you're on this pedestal of the most trusted roofer, the next guy shows up and does all the things you warned them about, they're going to be like, that guy was right. So that's the second thing you're going to do. Third thing you're going to do is this: the risk reversal close. The risk reversal close is when a homeowner likes you and you can say, hey, how are you feeling about everything so far? And they say, we really like you. We just want to get a few estimates. Hey, totally understand. So what are your absolute biggest concerns? Well, my biggest concern is that someone else will come in at a more competitive price. I completely respect that. Now, how would you feel? Because I respect your time and I know that going through this process is exhausting. You're sitting down with people over and over again. What I'd be more than happy to do is get the project started, move on to the fun part of picking colors, because you have a way to get started 100% risk-free. By law, you have a 3-day right to cancel, which means this agreement is dust in the wind. If someone else comes out and does a better job than me, just call me up and we'll rip this thing up. You don't owe me a penny. Sound good? That way you can lock in the deal, encourage them. And by the way, go ahead and keep the other appointments with the other roofing companies so you can gather those estimates. And if you like what they did better, we'll cancel the agreement. This risk reversal close is so powerful because half the time, and let me rephrase it, I don't have enough split tested data to say exactly half the time. I'm giving you anecdotal information from my experience that about half the time homeowners will cancel the other appointments because they like you and they just don't want to deal with anyone else. The second thing that'll happen is they'll keep those other appointments, and most people won't do as good a job as you when you follow the steps, or if you're using a proper sales process and system, like the one I teach and you can have access to here. It's called the Roofing Sales Success Formula. I'll walk you through the whole thing. Now, when we go through all that and they trust you, they sign with you, and if someone else doesn't do a good enough job, you've already earned the deal. And remember, it doesn't matter. If they end up canceling, they end up canceling, because if you sign deals using the risk reversal close, you're going to end up with more deals than you would otherwise, because otherwise you have to follow back up, hope you don't get ghosted, get back in the house. I would much rather just close those deals and risk a few. And it's worked so well for me. It's worked for folks that I'm training. It's working for companies I'm working with. And if you try this risk reversal close, you'll often overcome you're the first person in the house, we're waiting for more estimates to get that one call close. Now, the final piece of advice for you is this. It is so important that if you don't get the deal, you set the follow-up by asking the homeowner, hey, I understand you're not comfortable moving forward. Listen, I know it's a really big decision selecting a contractor on your house. And it's hard to trust every single contractor, whose estimate's best, who's going to do the best job, stand behind their work. So what I'd love to do for you is come back after your third and final estimate, which, when is that again? A Wednesday. So how about I come back on Thursday and I'll be a question punching bag. We can review those scopes or estimates side by side, and I'll help you decide even if it's not with me. Now, when's a good time for me to come out on Thursday? And then we get that follow-up appointment set. Now, when you follow these 4 steps, you're going to be able to get that one call close, or at least get much further in the one call close by, again, doing what? Number 1, asking up front how many estimates they've received. Number 2, explaining that all estimates are not apples to apples, and planting that seed of doubt for the other contractor by alerting them of the most common duping tactics that you and I both know are true. Number 3, you are going to use the risk reversal close in order to get them to sign right there on the spot with the opportunity to cancel with you within 3 business days. And then number 4, if you don't get that appointment, get the follow-up set and get back in the house. If I missed anything, drop a comment below and share it with me on how you handle the first in the house and waiting for a few estimates situation. Thanks for joining me here. If you liked this video on how to close when you're the first at the appointment, the first one giving an estimate, then you and your team are going to absolutely love the full sales system that I teach for both storm and retail. It's called the Roofing Sales Success Formula. I back it with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and I promise you're going to earn your money back in a sale. So there's details in the description, or you can text the word demo to 303-222-7133. That's 303-222-7133. Now, if you want to hang with me and jump into some more free roofing sales training, get into our brand new free training center right here, right now, and get instant access. Or if you want to hang with me here on YouTube, YouTube thinks you're really going to love this one. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next one.